Well, hi everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Friday lunchtime, which means it's time for us to talk about coping with feelings. And as you probably gathered from the thumbnail, I felt a little bit angry this week. I don't mind telling you that um, very briefly, but that was the that was the feeling. I don't know what if you had to describe your feelings for this week in a word, what would it be? And I always like to do that for you because it's just like, it's been a confusing week for me, I must say, in many ways. So, um, as I look at it, I am so grateful to be able to be here. Let me just make sure I say that. Our quotes for today are about um, keeping calm under pressure. When life doesn't go the way that you had planned. It's really, really important. Hi there, Charlotte. Good to see you. I saw a quote and it said, "I don't panic unless I have to. It wastes energy." And you know that every week that I have broadcast, almost every week. Anyway, hi Sharon. Good to see you. Um, One of the quotes that I have is that um, smile, breathe, and go slowly. And I want to tell you, if ever there was a week yet again, where I needed to do that, this was it. I saw a quote that said, "Give yourself more credit. You're trying to grow whilst trying to heal. You're trying to forgive while trying to grieve. You're trying to search while trying to let go. And you're trying to love others while remembering how to love yourself. You are doing the best you can." And I just want you all to remember that that is true, right? We're all doing the best we can with the knowledge that we have, with the learning that we have, with the courage that we have in some cases, all right? So it's just like, know it's okay. Know that you will be as best as you can be. Before we get on to the subject today, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, today we're going to be talking about a medical visit I had and the results. I'm going to be cooking up some fake burger meat, just so I can show you how it goes. And then I'm going to be just demonstrating how easy it is to sow microgreens if we have time for that. Yes, Charlotte saying no two journeys are the same, right? It's really important to remember that. As far as I know, the only birthdays that are coming up are Erin's today. I think must be Erin's birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, Erin. And Becca's on Sunday, I believe. So happy birthday to both of you if you happen to catch the broadcast. And Jody, hi there. I wonder if you'd be good enough just to remind me to put up a notice for Erin and um, also for. Really? Where am I going? Also for Becca. Um, all right. I haven't had another update from Nyasha, for those of you who've been following her journey. And as soon as she tells me how she's doing now that she's had time to process, I'll let you know. Uh, if there's anybody else that wants to give a medical update of any sort, just let me know now. And I will sort of feed it in as I do the rest of the broadcast. All right. Hi, Jeannie. Good to see you. So here's the story. Um, because of the pandemic and because of the cancer and then because of the teeth and everything else, I had delayed getting my eyes checked, and I don't know about the rest of you, but it wasn't sort of high on my list, and it became higher on my list because I was aware that I was having issues. So I went to go this week to go and have an eye appointment. And quite honestly, I was pretty chill about it all because, it's just an eye appointment. Hello. I mean, really. Um, so um, I went to a new place. Because I thought, okay, I might as well find somewhere that's close to me now that I've been here for 4 years. It's about time. And I found a new place and a really nice guy. And I quite honestly, I knew there'd be issues because of, what's been happening to my eyes. Um, and so when he started the eye exam, he covered up my left eye and then put up the chart, not the big one, he put up a smaller one. He put up a chart and said, okay, what can you read? And to my absolute horror, I said nothing. And I think I could roughly make out a guess more than anything, a couple of letters in the first line. And that was, with this eye. And I thought, wow, that's no wonder I've been having issues. I can't see. It's like, duh. And so then he did the whole of the test of that eye, and then he covered this eye up and did the other eye, and that was fine. And then he asked if he could put in the drops, and do the other, in-depth stuff. And I said, sure, go ahead. And he did that. And when he'd finished doing that, he said, well, we've got some issues. And I said, yep. And he said, you've got macular degeneration in one eye. And hi, Jenna, good to see you. I've got macular degeneration in one eye, and you've got a cataract in the other. So I said, oh, this is the one with macular degeneration. He said, no, that's your good eye. That's the one with the cataract. Remember, that was the one where I couldn't see anything. And so for those of you who don't know, let's try and put it into words that make sense to people. Macular degeneration is really damage to the retina of your eye. And apparently mine, for some reason, has started to break down. Now, what happens is that over time, if it's not treated, by the way, you can't stop it. When you say you can't stop, you can't reverse it. But what happens over time is you lose the ability to see straight ahead. You normally can keep your peripheral vision, that's where you can see sideways. That's your peripheral vision. But you will lose what I call the straight ahead vision. Now, for somebody who's a crafter, you can probably imagine when I heard that, you can probably imagine what happened to my brain. And he said, do you have any questions? I said, oh, yeah, I got a lot of them, I'm sure. But I'm not going to ask them yet. The reason I'm not going to ask them yet is I need time to process this before I react, remember. Thank you. Jenna's saying, I'm so sorry to hear that. My prayers, Mama Sal. I've been watching you for years now. Well, thank you so much, Jenna. I'm so glad you popped in to say hi. Jean is asking me, did I go alone to the appointment? Yeah, of course I did. I thought it was just a regular little, okay, you need new glasses. Didn't know I was going to have the problem that I did. So can you remember, all right, what the monk said, all right? Smile, breathe, and go slowly. So I didn't punish the poor guy who was giving me this news. I just said, okay, but I need time to process it, and then I'll get back to you. Now, obviously, I need to get new glasses, and they reckon that the new glasses will help to some degree. But remember how I started with that quote, I don't panic unless I have to? It's a waste of energy. So, quite honestly, I went home and thought about it. And one of the things that I thought about was how long does it take to go from where I am to where I won't be able to see from this left eye? And how long have I got left in this eye before I need surgery on it? You know, those sort of questions you have to ask yourself. And, you know, it could be, from what I can research now, what's what I love about being alive today, because we can do so much research for ourselves. You know, it could, yeah, Charlotte's saying your brain went into overdrive. And that's why I just said I have lots of questions, but I'm not going to ask them yet. I want it to be rational and not in shock. You know, I know enough about shock now, and I know enough about, you know, I've been through enough in the last couple of years to know I just need to take this one step at a time. And one of the things I found out, it could take 5 to 10 years. Well, remembering that I'm 76 now, yeah, it might not be the be all and end all. If I were 20, that would be a whole different story. But, you know, at the age that I am, I might go before it's really a major problem. Then next thing I did was to talk to my family and friends. And what I did was I was looking for somebody who had it or knew somebody who had it. And it turned out that Marnie's mom has macular degeneration. And then I heard what I call the really bad news, which was that she's had it for some time, by the way, and coping with it fine. But the way that it's being treated, she gets injections into the eye. Now, I don't know about you, but there's something about the idea of having somebody put a needle in my eye that sort of blows my mind just a little bit. What about you guys? But the good news was that she started off having one injection a month, and now it seems to have halted it, and now she's up to once every 10 weeks. All right. So Charlotte's saying it has to be very serious for the injections. Okay. Oh, interesting. Jeannie's saying that York also had it, and York had the injections as well. Okay, so you understand. But I don't know about you. It was just like both eyes have got a problem. Now, in order to fix the cataract, we all know that will require that they open up my eye like this and laser surgery, take away that cataract. It's like a film that goes across your eye. Oh, Charlotte's saying that her mum had laser macular degeneration surgery. Ugh. So you understand, the more you get to know, the more scary it gets. But again, and I say this as we said to Nyasha, all right, this stuff is scary, but if it saves your sight, is it worth it? It's a bit like having a boob removed is scary, but if it saves your life, is it worth it? Yeah, and Charlotte's saying, I get why you're apprehensive. You know me, Charlotte, I'm not a wuss. I'm pretty pragmatic, but I'm also human. And the same as I said to Nyasha, not knowing I was going to need to be listening to myself, but the same as I said to Nyasha, which was, you know, if it is what you need to do, then you just need to do it or go blind. That's the choice. Judy's saying you'll need a driver after the injection. Yes. Thank you for letting me know that. So there's always been a quote that I've loved, and that is, always behave like a duck, right? Ducks, when you see them, look really calm on the top, right? As they float along the water, presumably. But they're going like this underneath. And I don't know if that is a picture that you can all relate to, but I tried to keep calm on the outside, even though my mind was going 900 to the dozen underneath there. And it's okay. I think it's quite okay to know that that's quite normal. And so I really did a lot of self-care. And what I want you to understand is the reason I'm telling you this is, you could get hit with some nasty news tomorrow for all I know. And what I want you to remember is the first thing to remember is to smile. All right? And to take it slowly. Not to overreact in the moment, because it's not going to help you. And then to understand it's quite normal to be, to be scared. Make sense? It's quite normal. Smile, breathe, and go slowly. The chances are I won't go blind, all right, if I do the right things. And then the next thing is, well, gosh, how much is this going to cost me because I don't have insurance? I believe, and Charlotte will be able to confirm this, I believe that this sort of stuff is covered by our medical plan here in Canada. Yeah, Jeannie's saying a very normal reaction to be afraid. And that's the same thing I was saying to Nyasha. Don't beat up on yourself because you're terrified of having, the operation she needs to have. I go, it's quite normal. Anybody would be. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Remember Susan Jeffers said, feel the fear and do it anyway? So I really thought about the fact that you live for today, people, right? Live for today. Do what you love to do today, because you don't know if you're going to have the ability to enjoy it tomorrow. Yeah, Jody will tell you that. I'm certain anybody who's been through anything like this, enjoy today. And so to me, it was like, wow. Jeannie's saying that York's father also had it, and in his day, nothing was available. Today, we're so lucky, that so much is available to us. And so to me, it's about, I want you just all to understand it is normal, all right? It's perfectly normal, and give yourself the time. I think Jody would call it the grace, all right? Give yourself the permission to take the time to process it all, and not to panic about it, just process it. And what I said is, I always check my goals every Monday. I don't know about you guys, but I go through my goal list every Monday and see how I'm doing. And I'm going, on my health, I said, get these things checked out, right? And I had a list of, all the things. Well, we know I'm about to have my teeth removed. And, it's just like, yeah, hang on a second. In the last couple of years, I've lost teeth, about to lose more. I've lost a boob. I've lost my hearing. And it was just like, really? Are you serious? Now I'm going to lose my sight? Yeah. Jody said grace is a gift we can give ourselves. Yes. And this was the whole thing, which was, just take a couple of days just to decompress a bit. Don't panic. Very important, right? Remember the duck, all right? Stay calm. And also, although you stay calm, it's perfectly normal to have your mind racing. What if, what if, what if, what if? Well, what if it doesn't? You see? It's like, yeah, but what if I go blind? And I go, yes, but what if I only go blind in the one eye and still have sight in the other after I've had the cataract removed? You know, and it was just like, I need to just keep processing this the right way. And as we've heard, a lot of people have had this and lived perfectly normal lives with it. We will find all that we need to know. So I think the main thing is, can you imagine what happened to my brain when I heard that? This is me who loves to do all this delicate work, on my machine. This is me who spends their life on a computer. It was just like, yeah, I don't know why. I hadn't thought about that. How would I be able to read and that's one of the things I noticed, it was getting difficult for me to read the comments on the broadcasts and those sort of things, right? Anyway, so the first step that I will take is get new glasses. So that will be the first thing. And then after that, then next week when I go through my, when I go through my goal list under health, I will get to eyes, have them checked, and I'll go, okay, have them checked. But now what's the next step? Get glasses. Um, I think the next step for me is I'm going to ask my optometrist whether I can get referred to a specialist. So I know, that basically I'm dealing with both the cataract and this. So I think I need you know, some good input here. I'm not saying that my eye guy isn't good. It's just like I think I would like to have, you know, good, a specialist dealing with it from this point onwards. So that wasn't the only scare I got this week. I have reason to laugh at myself. I really do. Um, Hi there, Kimmy. Um, I ended up. How many of you were here last week where I just was telling you how I had decided to try out some vegan alternatives for cheese to start with? And, some of you watched me actually taste those. And to my absolute surprise, um, I actually enjoyed them. There was only one that was a bit iffy, but even then, I've still gone back and had more of it this week. But I want to tell you, the cheese slices, I've used them all week. The sour cream is just the right consistency for a dip. So instead of taking my dairy sour cream to make a dip, I now just use that stuff. But what I hadn't thought about, and this was weird, I hadn't thought about what effect it might have on my blood sugar. Does that make sense? And then for some reason I think it was Monday, I did some really great overnight oats on Sunday after the broadcast. I did what they called what was it called? Carrot cake overnight oats. And basically you had oatmeal, and then you had some shredded up carrot, and you had some yogurt, and then all sorts of layers of stuff, raisins, you name it. And so it went on, and then of course the next morning you get up to eat it. Well, I had more than my fair share. I made 2 sort of containers of it, and I had nearly a whole container. And then I decided later on the day that I was feeling a bit funny, so I thought I'd take my blood sugar reading. I don't know what happened, but my blood sugar went through the roof. I don't know whether it was the oats. I don't know whether it was going on to non-dairy or what it was. All I know is it went through the roof and it scared me stupid. It was that bad. It was nearly off the charts. It was in the dangerous level. And again, I know not to panic. And so what do I know, Lois? That is like drink lots of water and take protein. I tried to think, had I had a protein shake? Yes, I did all the things I thought I was meant to do. But still, um, you know, time. Kimmy's saying, I go back for my other eye surgery on June the 5th. My left eye is gone. You're blind in your left eye now? Actually, Jody, in answer to that, yes, quite honestly. But it's not a major. Wow, I didn't know that. So you totally, and for what reason, may I ask? Jody, I just increased the size of the letters. It makes it easier as well. Kimmy, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that it had been that effect on you. I knew that you'd had surgery, but I didn't know you'd gone blind in that eye. Or if I did, I forgot about it. So was that also from macular degeneration, or was that from something else? And the first thing you think about is, will I be able to drive? Will I be able to, carry on my normal life? And quite honestly, I'm at a level on both of these that, it's not urgent that I have anything done at all. It's just like it has started. That's, and I know that it started because I was having issues. So does it make sense to you that it was like, and then almost enough already? But then I thought, something, I need to be really grateful for all that I have. Really grateful. Because it could be so much worse, right? And again, it's about the timelines on these things. Jody, I'm pretty sure you've done the same thinking with all your diagnoses, all right? Which is, yeah, this might end up killing you, but will you die naturally before then anyway? And that's the thing that I'm aware of. So will I be enjoying my crafts a lot more this week and from the weeks coming on? Yeah, absolutely. All right, because I don't know how long I'll be able to do them for. So I'm going to make sure I enjoy them. Now, the other thing was, I didn't think to double check everything that was coming into the house for garlic, all right? All this new stuff that was coming in. And as some of you know, I have an allergy to garlic. And so far, I think I'm okay because I haven't reacted badly to anything. However, I did try the fake burger, and I thought you guys would probably like, if you haven't seen it. How many of you have not had fake burger yet? You've probably seen it advertised. You probably have thought, yuck, I don't think I want to try that or whatever. However, what I did was I decided to get dry fake burger. All right, so it's not going to be using up space in my freezer. It actually comes in a bag like this. All right, and what it says, it's enough in here for 8 burgers. And what I did was, when I did the math on what that would look like, it turns out to be a couple of pounds, I think, of 2 pounds of ground, the equivalent of 2 pounds of fake ground meat, all right? And I decided that was a bit more than I wanted. So what I did is I divided it up into little bits like this, which is the equivalent of 2 meatballs. Okay. Now, the first thing you can probably see, it's a really funny color. Can you see that? It sort of looks a bit like oat brown, but I can assure you, you can probably see it's got a sort of pink flavored coloring to it as well. So you're thinking, yuck. But it's a bit like green juice. You know, before you discount it, try it. I don't know how many years I wanted to throw up looking at green juice until I actually tried it and went, well, that actually tastes good. And by the way, I'd like to record, this is now my 3rd week of not buying meat. I'm trying to use up what I've got in my freezers. Actually, probably my 4th week, right? It's the 4th week of the year. So proud of myself. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to take this. Hi, Ginny. How's the move, honey? I've been meaning to ask you. For those of you who don't know, Ginny was in her apartment flooded. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, which is about about 1 1/4 ounces for 32 grams for the rest of the world. Yep. Okay, so now, can you see that sort of pink tinge that it has to it on top there, the coloring? Yeah, okay. Now, to that, they say add 1/4 cup of cold water. So we're going to do that. And a little bit of oil. So I've got a bit of peanut oil here that came off my peanut butter. So I'm just going to put a tad of oil in there. And then what you do is you mix it up. Now, this is where it gets to look really gross, in my view. But the idea is no more gross than raw meat. And that's why it's got the color that it has. I'm going to show you in a sec, people. I just want to get it mixed up. Okay, so does that look like raw beef to you? Get the idea? All right, so now they say just let it rest for a while. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to roll it up into a big ball for you. And then I'm going to roll it into some breadcrumbs because that's how I want to eat it. These are my sourdough breadcrumbs. You know, I make sourdough. I make my own sourdough. So this is a mix of sourdough and Parmesan. Hold on 1 second. I always like to use a plastic bag for this because, hi there, Nyasha. Uh, if you get a chance, if you weren't listening to the beginning of this broadcast, maybe you need to. You're not alone. All right, so here we go. I like to use a plastic bag because I've got long nails and I don't like the stuff all under my nails. I always do this, funny enough, with raw meat as well. Okay, so here we go. One giant meatball, fake meatball. Yep, and then we're going to roll it in the breadcrumbs. I always remember having meat like this in England. I think we called them rissoles, but I really loved them. So here we go. So this is now a breadcrumb covered fake burger. Okay. See that? Okay, and now I'm going to put it in the air fryer, so I'm going to just give it a spritz. Turn it over. Give it a spritz. I want to get rid of the extra breadcrumbs. Hold on 1 second. Now then, would we all agree that this now looks like a regular burger? All right. Yeah. Okay. So, Nyasha, just so that you know, I found out that I got macular degeneration in this eye and a cataract on this one. So basically, that's what's going on. All right. So there we go. So I'm going to put it. Now, Jody, I know that you've had fake burger. I was amazed that it said you only needed to cook it like a couple of minutes each side. I've put it in for 3 minutes. I might give it more, just technically. That might be wrong, but I'll feel better. The stupid thing is, I'm not cooking raw meat. So it's just like, really. So old habits die hard, people, and I want you to know about this. The meatballs that I made a couple of days ago, I was actually amazed how tasty they were. They were spicier than I expected. And that's why I said I wasn't quite sure about the garlic content, but they were spicier than I expected. Very tasty. And would I have more? Well, obviously, I'm just about to do it right now, and not just for your benefit, right? It's just I want to show you that it looks funny to start with, but so does raw meat. Let's be honest. If you'd never had raw meat before, it looks pretty gross, doesn't it? So, and what I found was what the consistency of this is like. The best way I could describe it, it looks, when you got the water in there and mix it up, it looks a lot like stuffing mix. That would be the best way for me to describe it, right? When you mix up stuffing mix, and maybe the reason it looks like it is because maybe that's basically what it is, with a lot of flavor in it. What surprised me, and I do want to say that, was a lot of these vegan things are very high in sodium. And this one, amazing amount of sodium, like 675 milligrams for 1/8 of this. That's a lot of sodium. However, in exchange, you don't have any cholesterol. So, and the fats are like 1%. You've got dietary fiber, which then makes it, better for you as well. Added calcium, but yeah, basically, they reckon for 1/8 of this, it's 120 calories, right? So would you agree? Pretty easy to do, not mind blowing, and the taste was good enough. And I think I said this to Jody. I wouldn't think twice about, for example, using it over spaghetti for a spaghetti bolognese. I wouldn't think twice about making a cottage or shepherd's pie out of it. It's just like, it just tastes like very spicy meat. So Nyasha is saying, "Oh, Mama Sal, make sure it's treated instantly, please. I'm overwhelmed with the sadness here. It's a tough road. In my country, it seems like there's no treatment at the moment. I'm so unfortunate." Yeah, and that's why there's no treatment. Quite honestly, did you see, like Kimmy, there can be no treatment if it's gone to a certain stage. On the other side, maybe there is treatment if it hadn't gone that far. And that's the tough part about it, right? Yeah. And I've got the same thing, all right? If I've got macular degeneration in this eye, but then I've got cataracts in this one. And it has nothing to do with what happened to me at birth or anything else. It has to do with diabetes, I think. Let me ask Jeannie, did York have diabetes as well? I don't have diabetes, but I'm pre-diabetic. So be very careful. These things come about very quickly. I said to Yvonne this week, this getting old is for the birds, right? I had not expected this. Okay, so I have to say that, isn't it strange that Nyasha went through this and now I'm going through it, and now we find out that other people, Kimmy has been through it. So there's great support for us all, and that's the most important thing. All right? To my mind, that is the most important thing, is that we know there are people here that understand and people here that care. And that to me is I certainly, I knew that you guys would understand. I knew you'd be there to hold my hand through this lot. So thank you. When I look at this, it's like Does this make any sense to any of you that have been through this? I feel something change in me. I feel a flat calm, a detachment. The way I get when something is too much and yet I must function and, in fact, function at the highest level. I know what I'm in for. Only a fool wouldn't know that. Jody, I couldn't help but think about you when I read that. I'm going to turn my fake burger over. And then, once that has happened, I'm going to put a piece of that fake cheese on top because I'm going to have a fake cheese burger. Yeah, Jody says, thank you for sharing this, Sal. You're going to help other people going through it. I believe, I'm a great believer in that's what my life is about. So the same thing, as I'm pretty certain you all saw me go through cancer. And mastectomy and all those sort of things. You're about to see me go through getting partial dentures, top and bottom. You're going to see me go through 6 weeks without teeth in certain places. It's what happens. So, Jenny, if you're still there, I just want to go back. You have at last moved. I believe you said that. Okay, so did they give you a timeline, Jenny, as to how long you'll be displaced? I was displaced for 6 months, so I don't know. Okay, so yeah, Jeannie's saying York did not have diabetes, but she wonders whether it's hereditary because his father had it. Possible. I'm certain Jody will look into that and let you know. Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? Jody's saying thank you to the DearMamaSal peeps for sharing their stories as well. Information is power, and support is a beautiful thing. I think the information is power is really important. I felt a lot better when I knew, that Marnie's mum had it, and I know she's driving all over the country on her own and doing all sorts of things. So that's pretty good. So it's just like it doesn't have to be the end of the world. It just has to be something you've got to take care of. And although the optometrist said to me that there's no proven history, or what do you call it, documentation scientifically, that the different vitamins do or do not help, Marnie said immediately start taking the vitamins, and she told me what to take. So I did. And that to me was, like, even if the science isn't there yet, if there's a chance that it will help in the meantime, I will take it. So I'm going to get my fake cheese and put it on my burger now. I'm thinking maybe fake tomatoes. No, real tomatoes. I want to tell you, these fake cheese slices, they have a slightly different taste, but quite honestly, they are fine, right? It's just like you've changed the type of cheese. You know, when you change the type of cheese, it has a different taste. This just has a slightly different taste. And obviously not altogether bad, because I'm still eating it. Yeah, Nyasha's saying she thought it was the end of the world for her. It's great news for me. That's why I've been sad all along. I strive to succeed in life, but I can't. Thanks for the information, Mama. So, well, this is like, yeah, we may go blind, Nyasha, but that's not the end of our life. And I'm going, hang on a second, I lost my hearing, my teeth, my boob, and now my vision. And I'm going, I'm still going to be doing whatever I want to do. Somehow. I'm not sure how. But aren't we lucky we've got so much at our disposal and technology wise? And then you're going, but how am I going to do the technology if I can't see? Well, do the research. There is so much technology to help us do that now. So I just want to go back to, this is the third week that I have not bought meat, or fourth week, I think. I think it's the fourth week, Jody, of January, right? So that to me is amazing. And the only thing I've put in my freezer to add to it was a bag of chicken nuggets, fake. And because they're not meat, I didn't count that as putting meat into the freezer. And I thought I would make those on Sunday for you so that you can see what they taste like. It's bubbling very nicely. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait for it to brown a little bit. Yep. So if you had said to me I could go a whole month without buying any meat, I would have said no way. So now I just have to balance out my blood sugar issue. By the way, my blood sugar came right down. I did a lot of preventative stuff. It's still higher than normal. The worst thing was I was due to have my A1C done. And for those of you who don't know, that's a special test you have done every 3 months. And I was due to have that done the day after it skyrocketed. And I said, there's no way I'm going to have an A1C done. So I delayed that for 2 weeks. Thank goodness. How about this one? Peace does not deny difficulty, but it has an inner calm and quietness, even while enduring the difficulty. So I think if you talk to anybody who's been through a shock, right, whether it's medical or, a loss of somebody or whatever, you will know that your body goes into a state of overwhelm in that moment, right? Yeah, I'm certain Yasha has been through that with the diagnosis she got. What happens is we go into an overwhelm. And if you know about that, if you know that's going to happen, then when it happens, you go, okay, this is not a good idea for me to be making decisions right now, right? Because I'm just in overwhelm, and that's quite normal. Doesn't mean I'm an idiot or I'm a wuss or anything else. It's quite normal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until that process has calmed down a bit, while I've given that librarian in my brain time to reorganize everything, because hello, he's got new information. He's got to sort through that. And he's going to ask a lot of questions. And I've got, time to ask them. I'm not in a panic. So to me, this is like, if we understand that's going to happen, Jodie's become an absolute master at this. I have to say that because I've, been there with Jodie through the last 10 years through a lot of different diagnoses and scary stuff. And what I love about it now is that, she'll tell me, okay, they just told me this, this, and this. So just give me, a little while to process this, and then I'll tell you more. She understands that her brain needs time to process the information. She also knows that, yes, it's scary, nasty stuff, but hey, she could outlive it. You see, that's the thing. So I'm thinking, I'm going to enjoy all the things I can do right now for as long as I can. And that could be for the rest of my life. Will I be able to drive at night? Maybe not. Maybe not, because it does affect your night vision. But at the moment, it's fine. Jodie's saying I learned from the best. That's so cute. I didn't know it, Jodie, but I was training you already for this stuff. Okay, shall we have a look at our burger? Yeah, so one cheeseburger. When you open it up, don't think that it's not cooked. Remember, it's fake. That's not raw meat. That is food coloring. That's one thing I had to remember. And I got to tell you, it really is quite tasty. Now, how many of you are going, does it look like a burger? Fake burger, fake cheese. I just wanted to get through enough of it so I could show you. Okay. No, it's not an Impossible Burger. It is not getting paid, people. It's dry. I didn't want to put more stuff in the freezer, so I bought the dry version. Now, actually it tastes less spicy today than it did. Don't know why. Oh, it's way cool, Sandy. Do it yourself. Made in Sweden, I think. Oh, need eyes. It's packaged in Canada, but I seem to remember I saw somewhere that it was made in Sweden, or it's called a dry meal alternative mix, made by Kappa, Kappa, do-it-yourself plant-based burger. Where did I see? I saw it somewhere. Product of origin, Austria. Nowhere near Sweden. Made in Austria. No, we know about the Austrians. Yeah. So, absolutely recommend it. I want to tell you, if I had children, I just wouldn't let them see me mixing it up. They would never know. They'd probably wonder whether it was done, because it's slightly pink. Sandy, I would, as I said to, what's her face, Jody. I would definitely use this for spaghetti bolognese. I would definitely use this in a cottage pie or a shepherd's pie, without a problem. Now, pretty easy. Yeah, Jody, I thought that would get to. I love it when I can make you smile, Jody. All right. So, did I have to put oil in it? Right? That was my question. I think the reason they ask you to put oil in it is because then it'll look more like a burger and the consistency will be more like a burger. But quite honestly, I don't think you have to. You understand this is tasty enough that I'm finishing it rather than stop eating. Which probably surprises everybody other than those that have ever had it. Really. If you want to go meatless one day a week, not a bad option. And it's obviously got stuff in it that's making my nose run. But here we go. Oh, great. Oh, definitely worth trying. What I find interesting is if you'd asked me whether I would be doing this a year ago, I would have said no way. There's a limit to what I will change. I think it was a conversation. Whatever it is that's spicy in there is clearing my sinuses big time. Sorry. Not altogether a bad thing. We were talking to Lauren in Tasmania. Jody and I were chatting with her yesterday, and she's, decided that during Lent she's going to eat more healthily as well. Rather than give up something, if you want to make a change, why not just eat better during Lent? All right, and that's what I decided, but I thought I'd start early so I'd be used to it by Lent. Excuse me. So another quote about, when you get shocking news, remember that panicking never helps. All right? It's quite normal to have a little panic moment, but don't hang in there because it's not going to help you at all. What helps you is knowledge. What helps you is experience, other people's experience. What helps you is good information. By the way, get lots of it, not just from one person. Now, this could just be the beginning, for all I know, of stuff breaking down, in my body. So, do you understand my thinking around? I'm going to enjoy what I want to enjoy right now, because I don't know if I'll be able to enjoy them later. And that's a really important thing to think about. Excuse me. It says you don't need to be too anxious about anything. You only need to get understanding. Ah, hi, Gemma. She's saying, hi, Mama Sal, from the UK. I have to talk both official languages. It's really quite funny, I have to be able to speak Canadian, American, and Brit. It turns out to be 3 different languages. And then there's the Aussies as well. Okay. So, Gemma, really great. Finally started your foot rehabilitation. Okay, tell us more. So, remind me what happened. And would you like some thoughts and prayers? By the way, for those of you who heard that Beth had a stroke and is back at work already, typical, right? She's done some of the therapy. But really, Beth just got on with her life. You see, there's something about her mentality, and she already has something else. Pretty serious. Muscular dystrophy, I think. All right. You had a neuroma removed. That's a neurooma. In 2015, scar tissue issues in 2018. Okay. So what are you doing for rehab? Pain returned in 2023. Well, the foot is, I learned something, Gemma, about 10 years ago, that the 2 really difficult things, I don't know if you know, but a doctor will not do anything in your hand, right? Because your hand is so full of little bones and little things that can go wrong that, if you need an injection, I need an injection in my hand, and my doctor wouldn't do it. Right? He sent me to a specialist to do it. He said, we're not allowed to touch it. And the same, I think, with feet. All right, that that they have to be so careful because of all the little bones and things there are in feet. So I wonder, what is the rehab like, Gemma? We love learning these things. The reason that I ask is for those of us who have neuropathy. I have neuropathy. That's when, and I think Jody does, and I think, I could be wrong, I think Kimmy does as well. That's when, the nerves in your feet start breaking down and not, they give you a totally different feeling. Yeah. All right. Gemma's saying physio through a private healthcare. I did have to have an injection, which has helped. Is that a cortisone injection? Not cortisone. What is it called? Yeah, I think it is cortisone. I had that in my thumb. Not fun. Did it hurt like the dickens, Gemma? Ah, okay. So Gemma's saying, I've been to see a specialist to have custom-made insoles. Good. Said I may have had issues when I was a child, which explains the pain. So you understand, Nyasha, it's not just you that have had issues from childhood. All right. Gemma also didn't know about it. It was a steroid injection. Yeah. They hurt like the dickens, don't they? And I always remember that the specialist said, "I'm going to inject you into your thumb. If you move, I could do you serious damage." Now, the fact that he said, "if you move," told me it was going to hurt. Yeah. Jeannie's saying, many months ago, I got a cortisone injection for my left shoulder. It helped greatly over 6 months. Yeah. So Gemma's saying my left toes are very close together, which she said might have started the Morton's neuroma issues. Jody, can you take a note of that for me, screenshot or something, so I can look that up later? Yeah, Nyasha, you think you're alone in so many things, but the truth is, what I love about doing Dear Mama Sal, we have never talked about these things, right? And yet when we start to talk about it, boom, everybody comes out of the woodwork to tell us that they know about this. Oh, the doctor numbed the spot first. What a kind doctor. I didn't. I had a torture guy, obviously, which is the thing. Yeah, I would have liked that. I had to have. I had psoriatic arthritis. I think that's what it's called on my knuckles, and I had to have a cortisone injection in each of the knuckles. And it's a bit like having your ears pierced. The first one, you don't know it's going to be that painful. When the one you know, and you're going, I got 4 more to go. I always remember. Not my idea of an erotic experience. Let's put it that way. So, moving on. So there we go. Fake burger, definitely a thumbs up from me. And maybe I was lucky. I don't know. Well, let's find out what the fake chicken tastes like on Sunday. Now then, somebody was saying to me this week, "Oh, I'm going to do microgreens. They only take a week to grow." Not true. Not true. This is flax and chia after 1 week. Just beginning to sprout. Okay. However, this is flax and chia after 2 weeks. And I want you to see, okay? There you go. This is flax and chia 3 weeks, and I'm harvesting it, right? That's why it looks a bit funny. But what I wanted to show you is I just grew it on paper towel. Now, the micronutrients in microgreens is so much healthier than anything that's grown more than that, right? You've got all the nutrients going in there. And in case, and this week, this is very exciting to me. This week I have planted in here. This is spring salad, broccoli, radish, alfalfa, and clover. This is crimson lentils. This is alfalfa on its own. This is broccoli, basilica. This is broccoli, radish, mustard, arugula. This is ancient grains. One word I have no idea how you pronounce. With lentils and kamut, I think. And another word I don't want to pronounce. And then mung beans. Okay, so we'll see how they taste. And what I want to tell you, I just took the chia and flaxseed that I put into my bread, and grew them. But what I thought I would do is, there's a bit of paper towel. This is mustard seed. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that I'm not cheating you on this, right? There you go. I just shake it around a bit. Okay, there we go. Mustard seed. How difficult was that? And I'm going to cover it. And because I've got 4 different compartments here, I've just put that is mustard seed there. And that will start sprouting in a couple of days, and then I'll take the top off. Now, how many of you remember I was talking about, you know, I'm laughing because it's sticky. That's going to be tasty. I'm laughing because in the bottom of that basket, there obviously was a bit of leftover candy cane, and that's what was on here. Sandy's saying, so there was a paper towel wet. Yes, sorry. I keep the paper towel wet. I give it a spritz every day, sometimes twice a day, depending on how I'm feeling. So the idea is not to have it soaking wet so you can see the extra water, just keep it damp. Got it, Sandy? Very simple. Great thing for the kids to do. If you've got children, really good idea to get them into the habit of growing and harvesting microgreens. If they learn it now, they'll eat them for their lifetime. The lid has no holes, but what I do is I don't shut it completely. All right, and what I will do, obviously, is I open it up every day just to give it some air. Okay? Quite honestly, you can leave it uncovered if you want to. It just dries out more quickly. And I'm more concerned about it drying out when you can pre-soak them. I don't. I just huck them in. So I planted these yesterday, right? All of these. So I thought that would be exciting to see how much they grow in a week and how long it takes them to. Now, these containers here are quite deep. So by the time the tops of them get there, they'll be ready to harvest. Yes, Sandy's saying that she eats chia pudding every day. Chia is very good for you, right? So I have, flaxseed and chia and quinoa, all right, because I put them in my bread. And I just thought I'd try and grow some microgreens. And I checked, first of all, that it's okay to eat the microgreens. And it is. So, yeah. So, Gemma, it's going to be a long process. Now, the way that we like to think here, Gemma, as you know, if you've been a long time listener, is maybe the reason you've been given this is to teach you something. The way I look at it is I'm pretty certain that I needed to learn how to slow down. I always lived a life full of stress, because I was a professional speaker. That's about the most stressful job you can have. And so I noticed that in my latter years, what's happening is more and more things are happening to me that force me to slow down. And I can't say that it's altogether bad. I just wonder how the heck I ever did all that I did in a day, as well as, do the job that I did. I am certain that Jody will tell you the same thing, which is, it's a very different way of coping. And, I have no doubt that Nyasha will learn how to cope with one eye if necessary. And so when you look at it, but what are you doing to help yourself? That is the bigger question. Are you eating more healthily? How much of what has happened because of bad diet, because of diabetes that you didn't even know about or whatever, right? It doesn't matter. You cannot change what happened up until today. All you can change is what happens from today onwards. Does that make sense? Absolute waste of time getting angry about the past. I should have done this, I should have done that, or I should have been checked, or I should have all over yourself. It's just not worth it. Waste of energy. What I'm looking at is, what was it, Jody? 6, 7 years ago, I was diagnosed as a diabetic. And my doctor, who knows me pretty well, said, I give you 3 months to do something about that. And then I won't need, if you do it, and I'll know because we'll do the test, then I won't need to put you on medication. And this has now been 6 or 7 years now, and I've kept control of my blood sugar enough to stay pre-diabetic. In other words, I haven't dropped it down. Actually, yesterday I tested myself and I was down into the I am not a diabetic of any sort range, which was interesting. Jody said that she was diagnosed 9 years ago. I think it's 7 for you. Yes, I got a feeling it's coming up to 7. So this is called, it's amazing what we can do if we want to. And I still eat all the wrong foods. All right. I still, every now and then I still go to the store and I'll eat a Mars bar while I'm there. Right. Or every now and then I will have what I call a major sugar day because I need it. Yes. So Jim is saying she's doing exercise twice a day and swimming helps as well. Gemma, how old are you? What sort of age range? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60? Old fart like me in the 70s? What I want you all to know is you don't think you have time for these things until you have to make time for them. Am I right? Nyasha's saying, my mind isn't as strong as many of you, but I'm slowly learning. I'm already persistent and a determined person. So I thought, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but I'm going to somehow. Exactly. You're stronger than you think you are, Nyasha. I can tell you, if anybody had told Jody what she was going to have to cope with in the last 10 years, 10 years ago, if they told her, she said, no way am I going to be able to do that. I am pretty certain she would say, no way. And yet, because she has been forced to, she not only has coped with it, but she has done so much more to help other people while that's been going on. So don't discount your ability. Sometimes we just don't know how strong we are until our feet are, held to the flame. And I want you to know that. All right? I want to tell you, it's just, if you have to have it done, you have to have it done, people. And the main thing is to know that there are other people around that have done it and are healthy. As I said, I was amazed to hear that Marnie's mom has macular degeneration and she's driving all over the place. So just because I've got that doesn't mean I won't be able to drive. All right. So Nyasha, and you got support. Really, really important. So there we go. That's it. Now, the one thing else I wanted to say to you. Remember the other day I was talking about, I was going to tell you this, right, about the cabbage. If you are a single person and trying to save money, but you've got to eat green stuff, buy a cabbage and buy romaine lettuce like this. Why? If I open this bag tomorrow or today or tomorrow, all right, I will then use, maybe half one of these and then wrap the rest up in paper towel. Just one of them. So when the others sweat, the paper towel will absorb it. Each time I go to make salad, I change the paper towel. This will last me a month. Lettuce, like this, will last me a month. Yeah, thank you for that quote. I love that quote. Eleanor Roosevelt, Jody just passed me that quote. A woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until you put her in hot water. So can you believe that? Lettuce lasts a month if you look after it. It's like us. We last longer if we look after ourselves. I've had this for at least a month, and you can tell I've got a lot of cabbage to go. But here was the thing I found interesting. You remember when I was talking about it the other day, I said, what will happen is the outside leaves will start to dry up. Remember I said that? Okay. I was about to throw these dried up leaves away after the broadcast, and I realized that they were, in fact, I think I even mentioned it, they were like paper thin. All right. Bye-bye, Gemma. Good to see you. Please come back. All right. So you understand, they're just like paper. And I thought they've completely dehydrated. What does that mean? They're not going to go moldy. What does that mean? That when the next leaf started to crinkle up and go dry, I just put it in, the famous coffee filters are so useful if you're dehydrating anything. All right. And I'm just put them now into coffee filters to dehydrate. All right. Why would I save the cabbage? What could I do with dehydrated cabbage? Come on, people, think. This is about not wasting food. This is still good. Okay? So let's do it. And this is all about, we waste so much food. We throw so much food away. By the way, I even dehydrated the stem, that hard bit of the stem. Dehydrated that as well. I'm putting it in the magic bullet. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Jody's saying I could add it to soup, right? I could add parts of those leaves to soup. I could add powdered cabbage to green juice. I could add it to the fake burger, right? Extra vegetables. Remember, it's green vegetable, something we really needed. I could, so many different things. And as it dries, this one cabbage will probably now last me 2 months, not one. How about that? Now, am I being incredibly thrifty or stupid? I don't know. All I know is I didn't know that cabbage would dry to that degree. And therefore, we know if we needed it to, we could do the same with lettuce, right? Just amazing. I'm definitely, keeping, when my bread is few days old, I turn it into breadcrumbs. And then I make desserts and toppings for vegetables and stuff from my breadcrumbs. So get thrifty, people. It's amazing how much money you can save. All right. Hopefully, how many of you are glad that I did the burger test for you? Yeah, Jody's saying it shows that you have great respect for your food. You don't take it for granted. I'm the same way. Yeah, I think, when I was earning money and I could afford to buy everything I wanted without thinking twice, I wasted a lot of food. No doubt about it. I'm trying not to do that. Also, what I found is what I save in one way allows me to upgrade in another. All right. Now, I'm not going to completely stop eating cheese because, I got nails to look after and stuff. But what I have done, and that surprised me, is I probably in the whole week, I had real cheese a couple of times only. Imagine what's happening to my body. I bought another one of these. This is called Silk Next Milk. This is a plant-based, and I want to tell you something. I've had it in smoothies. I've had it with cereal. I've had it with all sorts of things. And uh, surprise. Now, do I still buy my regular 2%? Yes, I still buy that. And if I really need whole milk, I have it in powder form. So, it's not that I want to give up these things totally. What I want to do is get my body used to eating them. And to me, that's really important. All right. It's like, could I halve the amount of dairy I already have? I don't mind telling you. Right now, in a week, I have halved the amount of dairy, maybe more than halved it. Isn't that amazing? But it's going to take my body a little while just to adjust to that. And that's what I got to be careful of my blood sugar and other things as it's trying to work out what the heck happened here. So Jody and I will be doing more and more research into what I'm losing and what I need to gain on. So we can do this. All right, people. I hope you found that interesting. As I said, on Sunday, I'm going to make meatless chicken nuggets for dinner. And if they taste okay, then I have 2 days a week where I can have meatless days. And if I'm not eating meat, but I am having a protein shake every day. Okay. So for breakfast, I have this, and by the way, it doesn't look great, doesn't smell great. But every morning, or as it so happens, I haven't eaten yet today. Oh, except for my burger. What I will do is I will mix this up with half a banana. A trick that Sandy taught me. I'll throw in a little bit of Jello powder. Gives it sweetness. No sugar added Jello powder. Gives it sweetness and color. All right, so it covers up the fact this is a nasty green color. I just not mad about the color. So that turns it a better color for me. And what else do I throw in there? That's all I need. Just half a banana, that, and some of that silk milk. Oh, a bit of yogurt normally, because yogurt's good for us, right? And that will actually keep me going until dinner. Pretty good. And now, if I need a snack, I can snack without dairy. This is just like such a big change. I'm laughing because I really didn't think I would enjoy it at all. And that burger was definitely worth eating. All right. So keep taking these baby steps. I think the reason I'm able to do these changes now is because I've been changing my diet because of the trying to control my diabetes. And therefore, these changes are just natural progression. But does it mean that I deprive myself of all the good stuff? No. You know me better than that. All right. So as I said, I will go out and have a really good steak. Dougie owes me one at the moment. So, it's like we probably will go out and have a really good steak. And I will thoroughly enjoy it. How were the meatballs? They were great. All right. The meatballs were really great. And I did them same way. I just mixed it with the water and I rolled them into individual meatballs and then rolled them in breadcrumbs because I want to use up my breadcrumbs. And I had them with a plum sauce dip and they were just wonderful. So I really want to tell you. I haven't had the frozen fake meat. Jody has. Have any of you? Other than Jody. Jody, how long does it last? And when you get it, do you turn it into meatballs or something so you've got portion control rather than put the whole thing up as one? And let us know how you deal with that, please. Hmm. Today, I had a fake hamburger made out of the same mixture. Okay, and the mixture comes dry like this. No meat, imitation meat. By the way, because I'm so enjoying my microgreens, I bought a big selection. Um, that should last me all year. And again, will help me cut down on the cost of lettuce and the other greens that I don't enjoy. All right. All right. So Jody said, I've just had the burger patty. It lasts for a couple of months in the freezer. Okay. So you bought two and just froze them individually, or how did that work? Or did you buy a pack and turn it into patties? I'm saying this because people probably want to know. Oh, yeah. Microgreens, Sandy, there's nothing fancy about them. They're just seeds. You do know that, right? So that's why I'm saying that the chia seed I turn into microgreens. My flax seed I turn into microgreens. But you can, if you like. I bought a big selection just because I know I'm going to continue to eat them. All right, so Jody's saying hers came, yes, I've seen those, where they come in and they actually made them into a couple of burgers, all right? Okay, it's up to you. I just bought mustard seed, bulk mustard seed. You know how tasty that microgreen is going to be. Oh, looking forward to that. But do you also know that what's in here? Things like ground up, dehydrated what? Broccoli? Where the glasses? And this is what you've got to think about, okay? In here we have got pea protein. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm going to start doing pea microgreens. Pea protein, spinach powder, organic beetroot powder for color, organic brown rice protein, stevia leaf, organic kale powder, organic guar gum, and then the other one starting with an X, xanthan, alfalfa grassroot powder, Sacha incha. Sacha incha. Anybody ever heard of that? I've never heard of it. Powder. Rosemary extract, broccoli powder, pea starch, and natural flavors. Basically, vegetables, people, which is what microgreens are. So, if you think about it, you can either spend a lot of money buying that or you can eat vegetables. It's up to you. Well, I want to tell you, we can choose to eat more healthily or not. It's up to us. Okay? And I am not a great lover of cabbage, but I like coleslaw because you got the mayo and all the other stuff in with it. So that's why I buy a cabbage. And some weeks I will have lettuce type salads, and the next week I'll have one of these. But you see what I'm saying about if you're cost effectively, a cabbage is the better way to go. Or you buy the 3 things of lettuce. Because if you look after them, you can continue to eat them. All right, there we go. All right, people, have a wonderful weekend. Understand that we all get bad news and we will go into shock. And that is perfectly normal. Understand that it will take you a few days for your mind to process the information that you've just been given because it is horrific information for you. So what happens is your mind needs to have a couple of days to settle it down. Once you've got settled down, you can start deciding what you're going to do for the rest of your life. You can either ignore everything or do something about it. That's your choice. And just because the things that you may have to do are scary doesn't mean you can't do them. It means They're going to be scary. There are no guarantees on anything, including our lives. So you might as well just enjoy every day as best you can. And that is the important message. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, thank you for being here along this journey. I had no idea it was going to be this eventful, but it is. And we'll catch you on Sunday. This is Dear Mama Sal saying thank you to Jody for being here and to Jeannie for being here to back me up. And we will see you Sunday. Have fun, everybody. Have fun. Bye for now.